All right, in this video, I'm going to check out Panasonic's LUMIX Tether app and how it controls the BGH1 that I'm recording on right now. So I've had the BGH1 for maybe a little bit, close to a year now. Basically a glorified GH5 camera in a box. I like the camera a lot. I mean, it's definitely very handy. The one thing is, and I didn't realize this because I never really had a box camera, is not having the touchscreen that I'm so used to when I use the GH4, GH5, other cameras, and to be able to just easily navigate with the touchscreen is so much easier than working off the box, because the box, there is no touchscreen. And if you plug in a monitor, the monitor is not a touchscreen. So the only way to control the settings directly from the camera is with the touchscreen, the little joystick on the top. And it's very complicated. So basically 99% of the time when I'm using this camera, I am controlling it and controlling the settings through the LUMIX Tether app. The app is, I mean, it has a lot of control, but I still have some complaints with it. But let's break it down. I'm going to go over what the app can do and then what it can't do and what I wish it could do in the future. All right, so I'm on my computer right now. When you open up the app, let me say connection is pretty easy. You can either connect via Ethernet cable or directly through a USB cable plugged into your computer. I'm on an Ethernet cable. This computer is plugged into Ethernet, but also it has worked on Wi-Fi where the camera's plugged into Ethernet, but my computer is on the same Wi-Fi network, and that's also worked. So as you can see right now, I'm recording because I'm recording on this camera. So you get this nice pop-up. Well, first off, it'll automatically connect. Second, you can have multiple cameras on your network, and you can choose and pick them here. You can also update. If there's firmware updates, it'll ask you, hey, you want to update, which also makes it very easier versus before where you'd have to put the little file on the SD card and pop it in the camera and go through this whole process, kind of a pain in the butt. So this is a lot easier. So here you've got a nice display of all of your settings, all your options where you can very easily click and change it. But first off, you're like, hey, I can't see the video. You know, do I have to use a monitor for that? No, you don't. So if you click on live or LV, then we can see my screen. The preview screen pops up here. As you'll notice here, it is a clean output for the most part. I mean, you do see the focus mark on my face, but there's no of the usual heads-up display on-camera info. That is my biggest complaint about this, is that there's no way to display this in screen. So if I want to see the on-camera info, like I want to see my audio levels, I want to see what the settings are, I have to use a separate monitor, or in this case, I have this camera plugged in HDMI into the computer, and so I have this display on so I can see audio levels and just, you know, the usual info that I want to see when I'm recording. This is the big thing that I wish it had. Also, I am recording in just a standard color profile. Normally, I will record in log, and if I'm on log, this will also display in log, and there's no way to apply a LUT to this in the preview. Same deal, I'd have to turn the HDMI LUT preview on and then look at it at another monitor, or have the LUT on my monitor and turn it on and off. I have a small HD monitor, which I have the LUT saved, and then I'll turn it on and off to get a better preview of what the image looks like. But again, you know, if I just want to have a one-stop shop with the computer and just plug it into the Ethernet and then see what my image looks like, I can't do that with the Tether app alone. So I know I said I'll get to the complaints later. I'm starting with the complaints right now. Okay, but let's just break down what it can do. I'll be honest, I know it can take photos, or I think in the latest update it can take photos. I haven't figured out how to take photos, but I also don't really take photos with this, so I don't really, not something I really use. Here I've got my profile preset, so I saved kind of a bunch of settings, and so I'm on my 5 profile. The thing I do wish is, and I'm not going to be able to click on everything because I'm recording right now, but it just tells you C1, C2, C3, C4, which is kind of annoying. Because if I had the menu on, and I can't turn the menu on because I'm recording, but I might pause recording and go audio only in a second. Well, actually, you can see me right here on the screen. I will do that in a second, but let me just run through the settings and talk about my complaints. So in the settings, when you go to the menu, you can actually name these presets, and I have them all named, but here in the shortcut here, it just says C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. So sometimes I have to try to remember which one's which. You know, I wish it showed the names here. F-stop, easy enough. Also, just it is a much quicker interface, being able to just click here and be like, I want to change my f-stop, and then you just click on it, and it automatically changes. Shutter speed, ISO, white balance, pretty much all of the same controls that you would have in your quick menu access on the Panasonic LUMIX cameras. You get those same controls here, and same presets or same options for setting your white balance. And then down here, since I have a manual white balance set, and then here I just have it specifically set to 5600. But again, just the clicking and being able to just select everything, really, really fast, really handy. That part I do like a lot, just being able to change all the settings. here. I don't think I can change my record settings midstream, but I have my options here, but also I can't see it here, but normally there's a way where I can filter, be like, okay, I just want to see all of your options that'll give me 30 frames per second or 29.97 frames per second that are able to shoot in a variable frame rate, or I want to see all your 10-bit, 4K sizes. So you can kind of filter it out, because normally it's a huge long list of like every combination and option it can record in, but you can filter it out. So right now I have it set to like show me every 4K 29.97 preset, and then these are my three options. I could either do 10-bit 400 megabit per second, or 10-bit 150, or 8-bit smaller file size. Down here I got the color profile, so if I wasn't shooting standard, I could change it and shoot in log or some other photo styles. And then autofocus mode, so I'm on manual focus because the autofocus on this kind of sucks. And it has ruined many shots before. Metering mode, if I was doing some auto exposure, and I'm on manual, and color temperature. And then white balance adjust if I was using one of the other white balance presets. So very basic controls over here in this panel. And also, if I'm just running stuff, or maybe I'm feeding the camera into something else and I just need a simple way to start and stop and change the settings, I can just leave this up. But okay, so we got the preview up now. When I'm not recording, we can hop into the menu and you get, so the thing is, yes, it doesn't show you the on-camera displays like this, but if I hit the menu button, it will show me, I'm going to stop recording and keep recording on this thing. So if I hit the menu button, no. Okay, and also does try to, it does have the ability to copy the media from the cards directly to the computer, but I turn that off, and usually it's off by default, so I don't know why it keeps asking me. But if I hit the menu button, you can see the menu controls. And the other nice thing is I can click and navigate, which makes navigating this a lot easier. But it's the same exact view you'd see when you're in the camera or see the camera preview mode. So I don't know why, if it's it's just not able to display that info, like the on-screen camera info. See, I'm trying to click on this, but no, I can't because it's just a monitor. So here, these are the custom modes you can save to. What was I looking for? Yeah, the info display. So you could either put it out to the HDMI or the SDI. But so it could definitely display info from the camera. So I don't know why having the on-screen display info is not an option. But being able to navigate the menu with a mouse is very handy. You can't use the keyboard because when I've tried to name presets, I still have to click each individual letter. I can't just type it out on the keyboard, which is another annoyance. Let's see. So we got one-shot autofocus. So if I just need to focus on my face, if I'm in manual mode, I want to pull focus on somewhere. And I can also, other handy feature, you can click and set where you want the focus to be. So also handy, that touchscreen feature that I was missing. And you can turn on the level gauge, again, in my argument of why they should have all your display stuff on. So you can turn on the level gauge if you want to. You can also turn on grids, and you can adjust the grid settings if you want to change that, and also guidelines. You can have grid and guidelines. So a lot of options to line up your shots. And then they even you can load in your own file. For whatever weird reason, it won't take transparent PNGs, which I thought would make the most sense, but it does we have these little overlay presets to line up, try to get framing for talking headshots, and you can adjust it and adjust the transparency. But it is a JPEG, and for whatever reason, it won't let you do transparent PNGs. And the other annoying thing is you saw I had to load that file. I had that file opened last time I had this app open, so the fact that it doesn't just save it as hey, this is your one you want to use, kind of annoying. Histogram, you can see in the bottom down here, it is on. Zoom in scale. So if I wanted to do manual focus adjustments and manually adjust it, I can kind of jump in and probably because I'm recording. It's a little box that pops up and highlights my face. And then if you wanted to manually adjust focus, these are bigger adjustments and these are smaller adjustments. I'm just going to refocus my face. So you can control the manual focus, and if you have a zoom lens that supports it, you can control the zoom. And if you want to rotate your view for whatever reason, maybe your camera's mounted upside down, you can do that here. And then also you can adjust the quality So I guess if you have some network issues, or maybe you're not, or maybe you have multiple cameras on the network, and you, I'm not entirely sure what the network bandwidth requirements are, but for whatever reason, if you need to go to a lower preview thing, maybe your computer's not be able to handle it, you can change the view quality to a lower quality. But yeah, the fine quality, it looks pretty good. And then a couple other options here that I think are off either because I'm in video mode or because I'm recording. And that's it. So those are pretty much the settings, and you can go full screen if you want to turn off that sidebar. Yeah, those are pretty much the settings for what you can control here. Also, if you do want to close that, make it very minimal, just have a little on and off button for your camera. You could do that right here. Yeah, so there's the settings. That's what you can control. This is pretty much how I run the camera all the time. I'm also using this camera in the studio. I really haven't taken it out in the field at all. We use rentals or other stuff for that. So I'm keeping it in the studio. I even just got a Ethernet router that has power over Ethernet. So now I can just plug this camera into one cable on the Ethernet, and now it's connected to the network and it's getting power. So one less cable to worry about, and I can just keep it set up in the studio. So that part is really handy. And it's doable to control the camera here. But if I was taking this out in the field and shooting with this a lot, I feel like the inability to just have a touchscreen and just be like, okay, I need to change this, I need to focus here, would be a real big pain in the butt after a while. So I like studio camera, great, like being able to control it through this app, which 80% of the way there. I just wish it was able to show me more info on the screen, but all the other settings, awesome, cool, great way to control the camera. Do you have any of the Lumix cameras? Because I use it with the BGH1, but I mean, this works with all the other Lumix cameras, or the newer ones. So it'll work with like the GH5, it'll work with the new GH6. It'll work with their other line of Lumix cameras, S1, the ones that I can't think of right now. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you use this app and if this video helped you. If you have any other questions about the BGH1 as well, I haven't really talked about it. I've been using it. It's been the main camera that we've been filming everything on in the studio. Yeah, so let me know. Thank you for watching. Check out whatever video is recommended right here. There we go. Check out whatever video is recommended right here, and I'll see you in the next episode.